Right, hello YouTube. Welcome to something a little different I'm going to be doing now. You all seem to quite like the From the Depths review I did a little while back. So I figured, well, why not maybe go over some of the extra things people have made for the game. So I'm going to be reviewing some of the mods. Today we're going to be looking at the Armoured Simple Weapons mod. It's one of the more popular ones. It's one of the, I'd say, more complete ones, what it's adding. A little bit of an example here. We'll be using the back of the Armageddon class, I think it's called, to test these out. It's a very quick showcase. Oh, I say, not actually loading the guns, but yes, this mod adds exactly what it sounds like it would add. Armoured Simple Weapons. From the 23mm flak turrets. With a rather nice rate of fire, shall we say. To some bigger sort of ball turrets. You might recognise this one, eagle-eyed viewers. Considering I had, I believe, 2 of these on the front of one of my ships from the review. 2 quite large turrets that use the custom shells that the advanced cannons work. You see, it won't shoot because it doesn't have well, it doesn't have any shells loaded. Basically, you can load those up with your own stuff. Gets its own category, so nice and neat. Right off the bat, I like the visuals. They still look very From the Depths. They use a lot of the stock textures and things, but they still kind of look right. But they also sort of resemble some real-world weapons. I'm pretty sure this is based off of the gun off of... oh, I can't think of the name, but there's a Russian anti-aircraft tank, I believe, that uses this sort of gun. So we'll just go through them all in sequence and quickly see what we think they would be good for and some notable characteristics. So... first of all, the 23mm AA. We'll set up a little bit of invincibility. We'll turn off movement. And we'll show up. No, I mean, we'll spawn in some deep water guard planes to quick test run some of these weapons or whatnot. Yeah, that look. Goodbye wings. You don't need those. I see. Even though the oh wow. Okay, yeah. So looks like, yeah, pretty powerful. At least against wood. Next up, we have the twin Gatling turret. Again, I quite like it. I like the model. Let's see how we're looking on the old firepower. Very nice. Much longer burst than the first one. Although the reload time matches. Yeah, 200 shells, about double the power. But at a significantly longer reload time. And for firepower like that, I think that's perfectly acceptable. It looks like they're time fuses. They look like they're having little flak explosions. So yes, another nice one. We've, I believe, seen this one. Ah, okay, so there's alloy versions of the turrets as well. Very nice. Okay, so we will only need to review half of these. Alright, up to the quad 40mm. I don't know how much of the review this technically counts as. I think it's mostly just showing them off, but I will say that they seem to be running perfectly fine. They don't seem to be causing any particular performance issues. Okay, so this is a bit, almost a bit pom-pom-ish with the alternating fire. Shortish bursts, but with good, with a better reload time. Not tremendous damage, but it's got a wide firing arc, and it's quite a compact platform. And I'd imagine reasonably tough. Health 5000, armor 40. Yeah, it's tougher than the others, presumably thanks to its compact form. Gatling gun. Yeah, that seems to be reasonably good. Another shortish burst. But good reload time. Excellent. Alright, summon some more planes up. Let's see if we can get something a little bigger. Summon some bombers. There we go. That'll show it off a bit better. Next up, the twin 57mm radar guided turret. I don't know if that actually means it has radar on it. I'm not seeing anything that seems to show that. No. Are they working? Seems the guy is having trouble at the moment. Either way, our turret is certainly not. Okay. Maybe we'll use some strikes instead for testing. Yeah, it's got these nice alternating bursts. This is another one I'm sure is based off a real world anti-aircraft gun. 20 round bursts. And low damage. That's interesting. Maybe they say low damage, but it's the numbers it's actually giving off are much higher than it says. So I guess maybe the firepower reading's a little inaccurate, perhaps. No, apologies for this, YouTube. I've only got this week to do this, so I can't hold it off. But because I'm going to be making a lot of content over the next sort of couple weeks or so. But it's also chosen today to cut down a bit of a cough. The twin 65mm, another very flat, rounded one. Another tough shell. Supposedly it's firing armor piercing shells. Maybe some flying squirrels. They're probably a good match. Ooh. Oh, punch through one of those without too much difficulty. Not sure why the AI is being a bit brain dead today. I might have to go back to the duster. At least that was moving. Actually, we'll move up a faction for the next few. Really, no twin guard planes? Still Strider, you've got planes, right? Falcon Squadron, there we go. Yeah, look at them go. Right. The last of the turrets, I believe, are all custom shell? Yes, so we'll have to make some shells for these. Last cannons, ammo controller. We also need to know how many, how long the things could be, which it does tell you. Right, so 60 round bursts of 0.8mm length shells, and they are 75mm. Where is that? 75. Shell length. Shell length, 75. That should be fine, right? Wait a minute, 75, is that really short even? Is that millimeters? That's what, 60 centimeters? Yeah, that should be okay. And we'll just make these basically bullets. Those. There we go. Ooh. Those must be pretty high velocity because they're hitting something that's moving pretty darn fast and quite a long way away there. Of course, the typical from the depth spiral. So, yeah, full props for those shells. Didn't honestly expect it to even score a hit on that one. We may indeed need to switch that back to the deep water guard plane. No, I'm not going to hit it from that. Yeah, give us some dusters. There's a whole bunch. Yeah, direct hits, unsurprisingly. So the yeah, so this is definitely a bit of a I guess you call it like a high velocity anti-aircraft option. I do notice these simple weapons, you could use them for anything, but I would say they were primarily anti-aircraft by just by the sort of look of them and their purpose. Now this could be, this to me says like a dual-purpose turret, sort of thing that could fire flak and high explosive, for example. 10 shells, much lower fire rate, I believe, but they're probably much bigger shells. Well, they are much bigger shells. 127. So that, with the sort of sound and the fire rate and whatnot, this I think is representing sort of a modern ship's main gun. It's got like a reasonable fire rate, fairly large shells. Accurate. Not tremendous damage, I have to admit, or at least it's not... I think the shells are the wrong sort for this sort of target because they're just punching straight through, but these are capable of loading custom shells, so you could put anything into these. 90mm cannon turret. Interesting spherical shape. Unusual. Ooh. Quite a scary fire rate by comparison to the last one. 8-round bursts. Supposedly very low firepower, but that certainly didn't seem to be low firepower. So I assume this is another tough one. Yeah, very high armor. Oh, that's very high as well, actually. But yeah, so high armor, not one that's like to go down. This, I was about to say it looks a bit like a German 88, and then I look at the side of it, and I'm like, nope, no, it does not. Okay, so 6-round burst. This is very low burst count. Although 4-second reload's quite good. Reasonable rate of fire and damage. It's 105. And yes, I believe that's all of them. So, well, you said to some extent you can come to your own conclusions, but I would say overall are pretty nice as far as mods go. It adds some simple weapons as it says it should. They look nice. They work reasonably well. They're nice and compact. That's one of the things I like. You could, for example, use them like I've used the simple weapons on the Armageddon here. Using them at... I hadn't noticed that until I turned to look at that. Get off my ship. Hang on, let's turn the main guns off. Get off my boat. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so a rather nice mod pack. Like I say, quite simple. Just adds a few simple weapons, but they all work just fine. They do what they're advertised. The only thing I would say that I've noticed immediately is that doesn't look quite right. I don't think that's supposed to be floating off the top like that. But given that the model loads in perfectly fine, I'm not really going to hold that against it. You've also got, as said, your light alloy. Is that a different model? No, it's the same. Yeah, you've got your light alloy version. So if you want one that's a bit lighter but still same health? Oh, same health and armor. Oh, same health, armor, and weight. I see. Ignore what I said about the differences. I guess it's purely cosmetic. Given that it doesn't actually affect the stats in any way. That's interesting. That might be a bug. That might be something the mod author maybe wants to have a look at. But yeah, overall, I'll probably score these on like a recommend or a don't recommend. Happily recommend. They seem fairly strong, I suppose, for their size. But then again, like, the inbuilt weapons are not too feeble either, let's be honest. They're pretty decent, especially the... where's the octuple? For those who haven't used this is actually quite a nasty bit of kit. Fires a lot of exploding rounds pretty quickly. And it's got a fairly large burst. So yes, Armoured Simple Weapons. Big recommend. And as one last thing, before we end the video, I've got a new game coming out soon. There will be a link in the description for it as soon as, as soon as the store page is up, which it very nearly is. The game's called Sel Quinta, the Six City Quest RPG. Sort of RPG with a little bit of a twist, should we say, story-wise. I'll leave you guys to check that one out. And until next time.